Alright, so out of nowhere, Infinix recently made an announcement on their social handles that they are rolling out the Android 8.1 Oreo update for the Infinix Note 4, and in no time I got it on my device. I've been using these phones ever since the company made its debut in India, and it is highly likely to say that the company has been on their promises to provide up-to-date software on the devices. So I went ahead and updated my Infinix Note 4 to the Android Oreo 8.1, and here's my detailed walkthrough over the changelog and setup process. There are tons of bug fixes in the Hummingbird OS update built on top of Android 8.1.0, so without further ado, let's begin. First, here are the prerequisites. Primarily, I'll recommend you to have about 3 GB of free space available on your device before downloading this update than the suggested 2 GB. Secondly, make sure that the Note 4 is charged up to 75% minimum before installing this upgrade. After completing those things, head over and download the update. Once that's done, hit install. At this point you might see this glitch, but just ignore it. Now the most important part. It takes almost a minute for the phone to boot back up for the initial upgrade process. At this point you should primarily leave your phone aside, don't touch any buttons, and lastly don't worry about it. Once that 1 minute trigger is done, it will automatically boot up. However, I'm just going to speed up this installation process, while just to mention some key points, earlier it was called as XOS Chameleon. Now with the Oreo update, it's designated as XOS Hummingbird. So the entire setup process took me about nearly 7 minutes. Now depending upon the apps or games you have, the installation time might vary. It might increase or decrease, so again, don't worry about this fact. Also on a side note, if you get this notification pop-up of finishing Android update, simply wait. Let it happen in the background, because at this point you might face some occasional stutters making the UI and apps a bit laggy. However, as it is the first boot after the upgrade, that is quite easy to swallow. Now let's do the honors that you all enjoy watching, which is going into the settings, system, about phone, and there you have it folks, Android Oreo 8.1.0 with all the nuggets of Oreo. Folks, even the octopus is here. Now at this point you can immediately notice the subtle changes in the settings menu. Everything looks a lot clean and organized. Now let's jump over to the finer details in respect to all the new commodities that have been introduced with the Android Oreo update. Starting off with the lock screen itself. Earlier, we had the option of changing the wallpapers in the background. This was triggered by pushing that lock wake button every single time. However, now if you tap that lock screen wallpaper, you should see some motivational quotes, which is quite good in my opinion. All of that is fetched depending upon your data connection. So here's a couple of them. Big thumbs up on this Infinix. Second huge update was made to the camera UI. Now here the professional mode has got some minimal interface tweaks, which makes easier for the camera nerds to toggle the perfect settings required for that prominent shot. However, as you all know, the camera here is decent. While if you need any more info on that, let me know in the comments below. Apart from that, there are all the usual camera and video modes which were earlier present on the previous version of the Chameleon XOS. Same is also applicable for the front camera as well. Next is theme and lock screen section. Everything here has been revamped. There are a host of new wallpapers which can be applied both on home screen and lock screen as well. You have the option to change the fonts if you don't like the pre-installed one. You can even customize the magazine lock screen settings, like setting up new wallpaper. Here the magic happens when the device operates on Wi-Fi, meaning new wallpapers are updated in the background. Battery improvements have been majorly focused on the Infinix Note 4, speaking of which the overall battery interface has got a major design overhaul. Let's hope that this in turn is good for the battery life as well. Here you get the option to find out which apps are rating your battery, how much battery drain is occurring on a day-to-day usage, etc. This is all the goodness that Android Oreo offers. Incoming message notifications have also got a new overhaul. There are various style options which can be now customized in the settings. One-handed mode is now rather available in an inconvenient spot. And trust me, it's quite hard to find. It definitely took me some time to find it. You can find it hidden in the quick tile layout. Once you have found it, toggling it on and off is pretty easy. You can access the one-handed mode on left or right side of the screen depending upon your preference. However, you cannot resize it to your preferred area, so you're basically stuck with the default screen. Also, closing it can be a bit cumbersome in my opinion. Whereas even a long press on the one-handed mode in the quick tile doesn't open anything in the settings panel, which can be confusing at times. A new Eyecare mode has been introduced with the new update. Here the user has the entire control of the intensity of the red tint. Also, as an added bonus, the user can schedule it to automatically turn on at, let's say, during night when all of us are usually stuck onto our devices. Also, the user can set it to any custom schedule of his own. Picture-in-picture mode makes its way here due to the Oreo update. However, it's not available in YouTube as of now. You can access it if you've got the red subscription. Though if you want to access it on YouTube, you can see our video in the I button popping up in the card section, or check the description box below for more. However, you can easily access PIP mode on maps while navigating from place A to place B. To find out all the supported apps, just head over to settings and search picture-in-picture. Here you will get the list of all supported apps for the PIP mode. Google Duo has also been integrated now in the inbuilt dialer, so you can basically connect with your friends who are on Duo. Split screen mode also works flawlessly here on the Note 4 after the Oreo update. A big fat thumbs up for that, Infinix. Speaking about the overall UI in general, let's talk about that new shelf-like screen which shows news, commonly used apps, videos, etc., which takes some inspiration from OnePlus. I like the fact that Freezer and Xside are the apps which I use most on this phone. I just wish consistent updates are provided to them. You can even access the notification shade from a swipe down on home screen, while the Shuffle app is present to shuffle your wallpapers, which is great as always. Whereas I still don't know why there is a pinch out gesture which shows a blank screen. This was even present in the earlier version of XOS Chameleon. I was hoping that Infinix might put here something, but I guess they haven't. However, long pressing on the home screen gets you into the home screen customizations tab. You literally have the control of every bit and piece of information showcased on the home screen. There's a rubber band effect in the app drawer which gets displayed when you reach the extreme ends. Multitasking and juggling between the apps is pretty smooth. However, I still happen to find that earlier bug, which is even after clearing all the apps, there still remains an app in the recents menu. Though now after multiple attempts it went away, and later I have not yet observed anything like that happening again. However, if you found it, let me know in the comments box below. Also, just so that your phone functions smoothly, I would recommend you to update your phone's Google Play services after installing any new system upgrade. Here's how you can access it. Simply follow the step-by-step instructions. Lastly, even my OnePlus 5 is stuck on the Oreo 8.0. Whereas even the company's newest offering, the Infinix Hot S3 Pro, the review of which will be out shortly, is still stuck on the Android Oreo 8.0. Glad to see that the Infinix went ahead with Android Oreo 8.1 directly for the Note 4. Even the Easter egg reveals that fact. So technically, Infinix joins among the top smartphone manufacturers to provide first in line Android Oreo 8.1 update. This currently is officially the latest stable update available online, and watching Infinix jumping on that bandwagon gets me excited of the newer upcoming devices. So that's all I had to say about the Infinix Note 4's Oreo update. If you think that I've missed any feature, let me know in the comments box below. While if you're at it, put a thumbs up if you like the video and hit that subscribe button to join the fam, so that we will meet again in my next video.